Hello everyone, it's TheCanadianWifier here. I have 3 battles for you today in the new NU, the Oris NU. I guess nowadays it's just called NU, but it's been really fun, and before y'all get on my case about only uploading NU, I'll get into the other tiers in a bit, but I've actually just been enjoying this tier so much fun, all the innovation, all the megas that are in it right now. It's been so much fun to delve around, and they're only going to be here for a short limited time, so I've been wanting to try out as much as I can. I have 3 battles for you today. I might have already mentioned that. Anyway, looking at the team preview of the first one, I was under the assumption, and I haven't even looked it up. Somebody told me Kingler gets waterfall, and Showdown didn't implement it, so this is actually a custom game, but I'm pretty sure the only thing wrong, or that not legal with it, is Kingler with waterfall. I wanted to see how Kingler with waterfall do. Like I said, I honestly haven't even went and double checked it, but it doesn't really play too much into the outcome of this game. And it's a custom game regardless. So anyway, I have Dual Dance, Agility, SD, Waterfall, Knockoff, Kingler. On top of that, Aurora's gets a bunch of new moves, and it can now hit everything with Hyper Voice, Earth Power, and Freeze Dry. It's perfect coverage. So I ran Stealth Rocks as well. And then I have Rotom Fan to revenge other Pidgeots, and just as a revenge killer in general. It is Scarfed, unfortunately, on E-Belt, which will come into play in this game as well. Fake Out Kanga with Aqua Tail, Standard Weezing, and Taunt SD Pangoro. Looking at my opponent's team, it's actually fingers crossed on an ult. He has Mega Altaria, which is a little bit scary, but outside of that, it's more or less just a standard Spikes offense kind of looking team. So, getting into it, he's going to lead Uxie as I lead with that Auroras. Right on the first turn, he's going to go for T-Wave. And I want to see how much Hyper Voice does to an Uxie. Obviously, it's just max HP, max speed, because it's a lead, but it still does half, which is pretty impressive considering it's an Uxie. Second turn, we're just going to trade Stealth Rocks, you know, pretty customary. And then on the next turn, he's going to U-turn out. I kind of wanted to predict Garbodor and go for Earth Power, but I didn't want to, because if he stayed in, I'd look like a fucking fool. And Hyper Voice does 80% to Garb. Unfortunately, I'm kind of weak to Drain Punch, and he's going to get that all back. And I'm forced to go into my Rotom Wash, or my Rotom Wash, yeah, Rotom Wash and NU, my Rotom Fan. I end up going for Air Slash, because if he stays in, I can flinch it. If he goes to Rhydon, I don't have to worry. Unfortunately, he was talking to me before the game about E-Belt Rotom Fan with HP Grass, and I have HP Grass. I just didn't want to go for a Scarf HP Grass on a Garbodor. So, regardless, Rhydon comes in. Gonna go for an Earthquake as I switch out to Pangoro, and he doesn't want to lose his Eviolite quite yet, so he's gonna fodder Uxie to the knockoff. At this point, he has Kanga. Easy switch into Weezing. He's gonna predict this nicely, not go bother with the Fake Out. Or I guess he didn't have to bother with Fake Out either because Pangoro was slower. But Weezing is whittling down the Kangaskhan between the Rocky Helmet and Double Edge Recoil. Unfortunately, I missed Willow, and he was rather nice about it because we're in call, and he said, "I'll just go for Sucker if you Willow again," and that's fine by me. So, pretty nice play by him. They're pretty nice of him to let me have that play, as at this point, Kangaskhan's pretty much useless after Rocky Helmet, Burn, and a little bit more damage. So, obviously, a nice safe play I can make is going out of my Kingler, as this is probably going to be the only time I have to actually set up. And looking at the rest of his team, Swords Dance is going to be much more beneficiary than an Agility, because all he has left after the Kanga dies is slow shit. He was going to go into Garb, and fucking Garbodor. Between Aftermath and Rocky Helmet, the only reason I don't die is because Sheer Force doesn't negate, or it does negate Life Orb, obviously. But look at this. Look at that. I don't know whether to be amazed or kind of disappointed. That is a +2. Mind you, Kingler has the same base attack as Scizor. That's a +2 Sheer Force, Life Orb, Waterfall, and it doesn't quite kill an Altaria, which, to be fair, resists it and has huge bulk. I don't know. It was Immovable Object versus Crazy Force there, and Immovable Object won. But at this point, Rhydon's going to be able to get up the Rock Polish, as I had 2 plays there. I could have faked out the Altaria with Kanga, then Aqua Tailed the Rhydon, but that obviously would have won me the game. But the way I choose to win the game here also works just as well. It's just a different series of plays for the same outcome. I kind of wanted to show off Aqua Tail Pangoro, or Aqua Tail Pangoro, Jesus Christ, Aqua Tail Kanga, and bop his Rhydon with it. But unfortunately, it's not meant to be, and at this point, I can easily just come on odd HP Rotom Fan for the win, play with 1 HP, and finish him off with a T-Bolt. That's going to be the first game I have for you all today. Second one is actually going to be a really close game I had against DHD on the ladder. Look at me laddering, by the way. This tier is fun enough that it actually inspired me to make teams. I have about 10. If you're interested in any of them, I know I said it in my last video, it's a live with Leo and Land, which if you haven't seen yet, middle of the video, random toot my own horn, go check out my own video thing, but you should at least go watch the first 30 seconds of that video, because us setting up the Skype call is one of the funniest things I think that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Like, I can watch the start of that video and laugh every time. It's so good. Anyway, like I said in that video, I have all my teams down at Pastebin, so if you want to try out a couple of my teams, you can go ahead. Pastebin link is down below. But anyway, getting into this team preview, DHD has pretty much a standard team again. Kecleon's everywhere. I'm seeing a lot more Vileplume paired with Weezing, as they obviously in tandem they can take on all the fighting, fairy, and mainly just Slurpuff, Altaria, shit like that. They can take them on in tandem a lot easier than just by one. Looking at my team, I have a core that I was trying out that night a lot, which was Weezing, Lantern, Pangoro, Kanga, and I kind of described it as a bulky core, or a balanced core rather, because you have Weezing plus Lantern to take on the majority of the meta. It can take a hit from most things, at least gives you a chance against most threats, and Pangoro kind of breaks stall, and Kanga's really good against offense, so that's where the thought behind that comes in. And Kecleon has my rocks on this team because nothing else obviously learns rocks, and I have Mega Altaria because why the hell not? So, getting into team preview, I'm just going to lead off with my Lantern because I'm assuming he was going to lead off with his lead Archeops and I was going to Scald and Volt Switch, but he actually ends up leading off with a Weezing. T-Spikes are actually pretty good in this meta because obviously there are a bunch of grounded poison types now, such as Dragalge and Beedrill that are getting more popular, but the most common poison is other Weezing, and they obviously levitate and can't remove them, so T-Spikes can be quite devastating on the right team. Anyway, looking at this Vileplume at this point, it's just a complete mind game between Taunt and SD, and what is he going to do? I'd rather SD once, because I didn't know whether he was going to Moonlight or not on that turn. Luckily he didn't on this turn. Unfortunately he is going to. I figured Taunt will leave him at 65, and Knockoff will leave him at 56, so whatever, it's 8% less that I have to get off on this Vileplume, which actually comes into play later, but you'll see that. Weezing is unfortunately weak as shit and can't kill with a flamethrower. At this point I'm just going to continue going for it, because I mean, what on his team really wants to take it? If something comes in like the Archeops or Kecleon, I can obviously just burn it, and in fact, I'm going to burn his Weezing. The funny thing is we both have a Mega Altaria, and we both have a Weezing, and we're trying to wear down each other's Weezings for the Mega Altaria. Unfortunately, my Weezing is my only check for his Mega Altaria, meanwhile he has Vileplume as well, so something to keep in mind. He's going to Sludge Bomb my Lantern, I'm going to Volt Switch out as he goes to Kecleon, and on the Kecleon I'm just going to go right back to Weezing. Don't really care if he wants to knock me off, whatever, I mean, this is my check. Luckily he reveals the Power-Up Punch, he sees that I have the helmet, he doesn't really want to mess around with that. As he goes out to his Weezing, he's unfortunately going to Pain Split, and I Flamethrower, and looking at my team, this Weezing's actually the thing with the lowest health, so unfortunately I have to leave it in again, and look at this, I killed his Weezing, but he still has Vileplume, and mine is severely weakened, and he still has Altaria, so that's bad. Archeops is just going to go for an Acro. I leave Weezing in his fodder, because I don't really have anything that wants to take an Acro, and at this point, that's a nice Archeops you have there. Sucker, it just destroys Archeops. It's so fucking strong. And then on this turn, I mean, what can you say? I predicted the shit out of him. I got some health back. I made a play. Looking at his team, what's remaining, when he sent out this Kecleon, I didn't know whether it was going to be because he has Fake Out or not, but I definitely wanted my rocks up. He still has Altaria, I can wear down the Vileplume because he doesn't have his Black Sludge anymore, and the fact that this Kecleon is now a fighting type means I get a free Mega with Altaria. Generally, Altaria can set up on Kecleon because Kecleon doesn't carry Ice Punch, it normally carries Dark, Ghost, and Fighting. And Ghost is only Shadow Sneak, so obviously it can't really set up on much. Unfortunately, me having Altaria out when something died gave his Vileplume a free Moonlight, which is really upsetting. And Kanga's going to come in here and Double Edge. I get the Drain Punch off on the Pangoro, which saves me a little bit of health. And by that I mean like 20-25%, which is actually significant. Brings out Altaria. Don't know quite what he was thinking. I am Adamant Silk Scarf and Double Edge, so it's like the most powerful normal move Kanga could possibly fire off. So I don't know if the crit mattered. It is a Mega Altaria, but fuck if I know. Whatever. Potato. I have 3 Mons left to try to kill a Vileplume, right? Vileplume hasn't been a problem since early XY. I got this, right? Apparently not. Basically, Lantern, my plan was to come in with Lantern, fire off a bunch of Ice Beams, and then go to Kanga and Fake Out, then Double Edge, and hope that he was really low. Unfortunately, that's just not going to happen, because he can just spam Moonlight. My only hope, my only hope here is a Freeze, but he's running kind of low on Moonlight, so I think he only has like 3 left, but it doesn't really matter, considering Kanga's so low. Mega Altaria, I think at this point I was still like a defensive spread, and I didn't even have Facade. I know now I always run Facade over Sub, just because it's so much easier to get status than it is to worry about preventing status, and once you get status, it's like, oh hey, thanks, I win the game now. Regardless, I'm just going to try to roosted off because I realize at this point he's going to be able to kill me. I want at least some damage, and 17% damage on this is better than 0% damage. So at least Kanga has a chance. I know Kanga has killed Vileplumes from around this range before with Double Edge, and I am Adamant Silk Scarf. Unfortunately, I do fucking nothing, and I'm just gonna end up dying to my Double Edge recoil. So that was a really close game. It was a really good game on ladder. DHD is one of, at least a month or so ago, he was definitely one of the best players in NU, hands down. He had like 2 ults, number 1 and 2. So that's why I wanted to bring this game. It was a really close one. Both just trying out a bunch of new shit. Both trying out Mega Altaria, which is funny. And I have one more game for you that I actually got today. Those last 2 games were both from yesterday. This one is from tonight, and tonight being the 22nd, night of the 22nd, morning of the 23rd. Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. right now, and I'm narrating my roommates. I'm sorry. But this one's against Dentricos, also on ladder. He's using some kind of sand thing. I noticed it right away. I mean, okay, obviously I noticed right away he has sand, but like, it's scary. He has Mega Steelix, which is like, fuck me, what do I have for that on this team? I mean, Heatwave Pidgeot's not gonna kill. Regardless, outside of that, I mean, like, he has his normal fucking Cradle Eye that he loves using. And besides that, it's basically the standard sand. My team is definitely down in the Pastebin. Highly recommend it. Ton of fun to use. It actually got me, not that it's a fucking accomplishment at all right now, but it got me to top 20 on ladder, just messing around trying to create it. So it's pretty cool. It's Taunt Lead Archeops, just Tennis's set. Not really Tennis's set, but the set that Tennis popularized. It's just, it gets you rocks, and it prevents them rocks most of the time. It gets something down to 1 HP. It's a really nice way to start the game. Normally, I would have Lantern plus Weezing there, and I'd have no rocks and no rock support. But I figured on this team, I don't really care about opposing Rotoms or Pidgeot. That's the problem. You either, with this weird team setup I have, I mean, you could ditch Kecleon, I suppose, for a Lantern, but then you don't really have any priority on it, and Kecleon is so fucking good. But regardless, I either, in that slot there, between Archeops or Lantern, I basically had to choose between, do I want Stealth Rock / Stealth Rock support, or do I want a switch into Mega Pidgeot / Rotoms? And I chose Stealth Rock, because it's the best move in the game. So, outside of that, it's Nasty Pass Togetic. This was originally Nasty, or Tail Pass Volbeat, but I realized a really slow Togetic, like minus speed 0 IV Togetic, baton passing out, it always takes the hit, and then your either Life Orb Sceptile or your Mega Pidgeot gets in for free. And let me tell you, a +2 Mega Pidgeot is a lot scarier. It actually OHKOs things. It doesn't do like 50% of things. It OHKOs things. It's really cool. Outside of that, just standard Weezing, standard Kecleon. It doesn't have to have Stealth Rock on this team, so it's Shadow Sneak, which is really cool, because it can kind of spin block. And just Life Orb Sceptile, which is gonna come in huge in this game. If you take a look at Dentricos' team, what takes out on a Sceptile? It's a sand team, not very much. First turn, I'm gonna predict him to be Mega Steelix, obviously, because he's earning sand. He's gonna have his rocks on his Hippopotas, and I'm not gonna bother taunting, I'm just gonna rip him by rocks, which is great. Gonna go into Sceptile. At this point, I'm just going to click Focus Blast. Watch how many Focus Blasts I hit this game. This is phenomenal. I hit one, get the Spit Drop, which is really crucial, because it basically allows me to 2 KO Giga Drain. It forces him to defog away the thing. It forces he wants to defog away the stuff. I'm not quite sure about that play, to be completely honest, but I mean, potato. It forces him also to take out... to set up his sand, he needs to set up his sand so Settling can come in and revenge me, so it forces him to sack him on, and he chooses the Gramble's useless, and he wants to save his Mantine. At this point, I'm going to sub on the Hippopotas, because the worst case scenario, I sub and then he Whirlwinds me out, which I did not see. I'm going to go for a Focus Blast. There's 2 for 2. As I get another special fucking defense drop. Is that not ridiculous? It's a 10% chance, but I got 2 of them. And in this game, let's just fucking hit another okay, sure. 3 for 3. On top of that, if I missed, I would have lost, because I lost my, like, biggest threat, but oh well. I'm also casually just in Grass Torrent, which is beautiful, right after that play. Unfortunately, he's banded as shit, and my Weezing is just gonna die in 2 hits. A little bit upsetting. I'm gonna go to Kecleon and Shadow Sneak to be immune to that, but it's so fucking obvious. I shouldn't have even done it. Should have just went right for Drain Punch, predicting him to switch out, but because I am faster, I am able to get Drain Punch off, and it does a lot more than I thought it would, considering this thing has base 230 defense. Like, that's a lot, considering. Way to go, Kecleon. You're proving me wrong. At this point, I can just go in, Life Orb torrent boosted Giga Drain, of course that's killing a Mega Steelix. He's forced to go back out into his thing, and at this point, here's the play that I win the game with. I go for sub, I force him to have Whirlwind. This is why you always carry Whirlwind on your Hippopotas, because at that point, he had no way to revenge this thing unless Sand was up, so he needed to set up Sand, and basically his only play there to prevent me from getting up a sub was going for a Whirlwind, and because he didn't have it, I am able to just stay in and Giga Drain all the remaining things. It ain't over till it's over. Don't even need this +2 special attack. Sceptile's just gonna sweep on its own, basically, with the aid of like 4 Focus Blast hits, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That's 3 replays, 15 minutes of playback for y'all today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, a rating would be much appreciated. Go check out ORSNU if you haven't yet. Hands down the most fun tier, especially right now before all the megas are banned. Go try some. Use Dragon Fang Dragalge, not Specs, because it allows you to not get set up on by Slurpuff, and that's really all the advice I have for you. So go give it a shot. Teams, if you want to just grab a team from me and get into the meta like that, they will be down below in the Pastebin, like I said, and that's about all I have to say. So I'm going to stop rambling. Like I said, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take it easy. Have a good day. See you later. Peace out.